Just gone lunchtime. This is the third and final hour of All Angles here on eNCA. Good afternoon. I'm Masego Rahlaga. So we've been following numerous stories for you throughout the course of the day. Many have had developments. So if you've just joined us, here's how far those stories have advanced at lunchtime. All right, we have eNCA reporters Siphamandla Goge, Letgiwe, Mdluli and Moloko, Moloto. All right, Sipa, let's start with you. The former president expected to find out on Wednesday when exactly that corruption trial against him will continue. Judge Piet Koen postponing the matter. Until then, what were the arguments on both sides?
It's a difficult one for Judge Piet Koen because he needs to weigh in all the arguments that have been advanced. Those arguments are from Advocate Billy Downer, the state lead prosecutor, and former President Jacob Zuma's legal team. Now, the state wants to proceed with this corruption trial, but the difficulty here for the judge and the court is, what do you do when a superior court has not made a ruling on the application that has been brought forward by former President Jacob Zuma? He has filed his application for leave to appeal the decision on the issue of state lead prosecutor Advocate Billy Downer's recusal or removal. Now, that application was filed last week. Today was set down as the holding date, which would have led to the 7th of November. If all the appeals processes would have been concluded by now, we would get underway with this corruption trial. But pending the finalization of those appeals processes, it's difficult to move with this matter. So both parties inside court making their strong arguments as to why should this case continue, according to Advocate Billy Downer. On the other side, the former president's legal team is saying, what's the rush? We have lodged our application in line with stipulated deadlines and time frames by the Constitutional Court. We have filed our application. Let's wait for the determination of the highest court in the land, which is the Constitutional Court. So put this matter on hold. Let's wait to see what will be the outcome. Let's not work on the assumption basis to say what if the application is dismissed or what if it's granted. So that's where the gist of the arguments, centered around today. Both parties vigorously fighting to have the outcome that will be desirable or favorable to them. Advocate Billy Downer saying if this matter does not go to trial this year, the likelihood is that you are looking at next year, probably April or May next year, because the Constitutional Court will need time to determine the application of the former president as to what will happen moving forward. Judge Piet Koen on the other side saying, I hear your argument as the prosecutions, and I also take into account and consideration what the defense is raising. So give me time. On the 19th of October, which is Wednesday, I'll come back and rule on this matter as to what will be the way forward. Are we likely to get underway with the trial? How is the judge and the court going to navigate around the pending application that has been filed by former President Jacob Zuma at the Constitutional Court? So that's where we are with this matter. On Wednesday morning, we should be back here at the Pietermaritzburg High Court for Judge Piet Koen to decide on the way forward. Is he going to grant this postponement, or is he going to grant what the NPA wants to say? Let's just go straight to this one. Let's take a listen to what Judge Piet Koen had to say about this corruption trial.
It's deserving of a lot more attention. And it's an important trial. Well, all trials are important, but this is an important trial, and the approach that is to be followed must be one that's beyond reproach.
Right, let's stay in the province of KZN and go to Letgiwe Mdluli, who's live for us at the Mabhida Stadium, where, of course, Letgiwe, the official government coronation of King Misuzulu Zwelithini will be taking place on the 29th of October. Cocktail Minister Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma taking a walkabout there. Does she say it's all systems go?
Well, that's what they're saying, and we are actually going to be expecting more press briefings, just reminding us if they are ready for that coronation. It's less than 11 days that are left, and we will be seeing that official handover of the certificate by the president to the Amazulu King, King Misuzulu Zwelithini. They have said that they're expecting about 48,000 guests to be in attendance at the Mabhida Stadium. That's where we are right now, because the interministerial task team that is coordinating this ceremony is actually meeting and planning ahead as to how this ceremony will go ahead. We do understand also that there's also police presence that are going to be here. We saw the police minister also being part of that interministerial task team. He is here. They are having a discussion right now, a meeting as ministers as to how this whole event is going to go about, because other issues that we might see on the 29th are people protesting, or maybe royal family members from the other faction who do not believe that King Misuzulu Zwelithini should be the one ascending to the throne. They do believe that another person should be taking the throne. They might say or might do something during that time. But of course, the leader of the task team, Dr. Zuma, has assured us that there will be intensified police presence, because of course there are going to be international dignitaries as well that will be forming part of the ceremony. While speaking to about a bit earlier on about what we can expect and what they're actually going to be doing, they were actually conducting an inspection of the stadium. She did share a few details as to what we can expect for the 29th of October, and this is what she had to say.
So we decided that instead of sitting and hearing about what will happen, it would be better for us to come and do this in loco, so that we know who will be sitting here, where, and what will be happening. That's really why we are here at the stadium.
All right, let's bring the viewer to Gauteng, and we take you to the capital, the city of Tshwane, where we find my other colleague, Moloto, who is attending a briefing by the ANC in the capital. This, of course, after coalition disagreements in the city of Johannesburg. And the ANC, Moloko, having an update on what they think about the DA coalition in that part of Gauteng. A lot of bashing from the party. Take us through today's briefing.
So, Masego, the African National Congress, which is an official opposition in the city of Tshwane, essentially called a media briefing today to bash the DA-led coalition government in the capital. They have gone back to raise issues dating back to 2016, when Solim Simanga became the first DA mayor in Tshwane. They reminded us about the 12 billion rand contract that had been awarded to Let Africa, the appointment, irregular appointment, that is, of officials, senior officials in the city. They came even onto the mayor, acting mayor at the time, Abel Tau, saying that during his time, contracts were awarded, irregularly. And they are also saying the DA-led coalition is now purging black senior officials who have been appointed by the ANC-led administration. They also went on, Masego, to say that this council is essentially insolvent, making a claim that it will not be able to pay salaries and bonuses for the month of November, all because they say the city is unable to collect revenue. So we also hear, obviously, the ANC is saying that it is in talks with the other political parties represented here in the council, discussing possible coalition with those parties. So what is interesting is that, Masego, you would recall, the ANC lost control of this municipality or metro back in 2016, and its electoral support has been going down ever since. As we're speaking now, they have only 75 seats in this council, and they require at least 108 to govern without a coalition. Now, they are followed by the DA with 69 seats, which has been growing over the years. And the ANC it will not be easy for them to remove the DA here. because they will require the support of many other political parties. But let's listen to the ANC officials as they were briefing the media today.
In this current term, it appears that horror movie is still continuing unabated, with the scheming DA going on to convince minority parties to give them power through another cracked backdoor. This time they hook-wind other parties by giving them only one position in the Troika or office bearers, i.e. Speaker, Mayor and Chief Whip. In the first 12 months of their current office, these are the failures. The revenue division has collapsed. The city fleet was recalled and we have no tender in place. The yellow plant tender is in court and facing a protracted litigation. All roads projects have been cancelled and all of them are in our black communities. Waste collection trucks have been reduced in regions, and this has affected collection schedules, and all the cleaning of dumping sites is forever postponed.
Right, and that was your lunchtime update with eNCA reporters Moloko, Moloto, Letgiwe, Mdluli and Siphamandla Goge. Thank you very much.